All right, let's go get some data and play around with the attribute tables and mapping and see if we can get an idea about some of the problems with projections, etc. One of the things you'll be doing it quite a bit is looking for data. And one place we can look is natural Earth. And so what we have here is some free data. And this is data involved around the Earth, and it is really kind of an open source activity. Now, what we're after is we'd like to find some roads in Alaska. So I'm going to go search through the downloads, and you see one of the aspects is kind of a neat little graphic here. The small scale, you're further away, so small data is further away. It's almost kind of backwards from what you would think. And here's large scale, suitable for zoomed in. So kind of an interesting little quick relationship here. We're after cultural information, and we'll go for the large scale set. And now you can see there's a fair amount we could download, all of it, which would be a fairly large file, but we'll make it a smaller one for where we're at. And here we have roads. So this is a road section here, and we'll take the smaller of these for now. And this is downloading. So where we want to store these, so you want to store them in your queue, in your QGIS. We probably want to keep things in the database area. So we'll right click here and create a new folder, which we'll call Natural Earth. And you can grab the file here and drag it over. So we've got the file over here. Okay, at this point you have the file in the directory that you'd like it, and you just right click here and we can do a zip genius extract here. Okay, it's been extracted. Once you have the file, you can go ahead and delete the zip file, and you can see we've got the project, we've got the listing here. This is the attribute table that tells us everything about those, and then the shape file. So now we'll go to QGIS and bring this in and see what we've got. So a new project in QGIS, so we're going to add some vectors, browse for those vectors, go to the database, go to Natural Earth, and you can see we've got the road shape file. Okay, every road on the planet. Now our goal here is to just get Alaska, which is over here. So somehow we've got to get rid of all this other data, otherwise it's just going to be coming up all the time. So we can right click here and look at the attribute table. And you can see there's some indications here. We kind of look around. This is the attribute chart. There's all these different things. We could sort by continent. We could sort by over here, whether it's United States, Mexico, Canada, and so on. So one of the thoughts is if we just looked at the USA roads, that would get rid of quite a few. So over here is select the features using an expression. So we would like to select just those that are the United States. So while we have this open, we can say that SOV A3. So we're looking for those that are equal to. And then here, load unique values. We can then scroll down and see if we can find the USA. So this scenario then should limit about what we're looking at. So we're going to hit select. And you can see some of these changed color slightly, but we still have got all the rest of them in there. So let's go to show the selected features. Okay, now everything we got here should be USA. And if we now go back and close out of this, we can see that we just have the United States selected. So at this point, it would be nice to create another layer that has just this. So I'll go up here and right click and save the selection as. So we'll save this as, I recommend don't putting any spaces when you save these file names. It seems to work a little better if you use underscores instead of spaces. And we're going to browse to an area that we want to make sure where these go. We don't want them to go out here onto the C drive. We want them to be with us. So we're going to put them in the QGIS, under the database, into the natural earth, and USA roads. Okay, now we've got those saved, and it'd be nice to add those. So we'll look to see if we can find them down here on Q on the QGIS, down here under the database, natural earth, and you can see we have USA roads. So we can right click on this and add the layer. So now we have USA roads, and we have all the roads on the globe. So we can remove this one. And now go to zoom to the full extent. Okay, so now we've got the United States, and looks like we got some Puerto Rico down here, and Hawaii, and we've got Alaska up there. So we really only want Alaska, so let's keep going with this concept. Now, in this case, we look at the attribute table, and I'd really like to have something that says, well, you're in Alaska, or what state? So which state are you here? So I'm going to scroll along and see what I can find. And it doesn't look like there's anything that really tells me that it's just in the state. So we've kind of got a problem in doing any sort of selecting by attribute here. So another opportunity would be to use the selection. Since we know this is Alaska, let's just select all those in Alaska. So I'm going to select by a rectangle, and all I have to do is just draw a nice rectangle around all the roads in Alaska, and they've been selected. So we can go through this process again and save the selection as, and we'll call it Alaska roads. And down here we could add this right to the map, save ourselves a step there. We browse again, it wants to put it out here in the bin, so we've got to make sure that we get it out here in where we want to put it. Now when you're saving data for your assignments, you're going to turn into me that are unique, you're going to want to put them in whatever assignment that it is. So for example, if this was assignment 2, you would want to put these Alaska roads in there, so that and then you would need to send me everything in assignment 2. But for right now, this example, we'll just keep working on putting it in natural earth here, and there we go. Okay, so now we've got Alaska roads, which means that we can delete the USA roads. Now you can just turn them off, but if you do delete it, then when you hit the full extent, you get a nice zoom of just what you're looking at. Okay, so let's add some more information here about Alaska. So we'll come down here to the sample data area, and if we recall, we had some stuff in here about Alaska, and so I'm going to at this layer here for Alaska. And you see Alaska, well, number one is covering the roads, so let's pull the roads down on top. So we can, just by clicking and dragging here, and the colors are kind of horrible. Now, one of the problems is that this is not what we remember Alaska to look like, and in fact it looks pretty stretched out in this direction. So it's not a very real scenario. Now, the problem with that is that when we brought in the roads to begin with, there was a coordinate reference system, and here you can see this coordinate reference system is WGS 84. And so when you're working with that, we brought those roads in first, and that established what the project relationship was going to be using.